in the top right hand, there's going to be something that says, uploading, or let me see where we're at. It's going to say uploading. So you're going to see that kind of fluctuate back and forth
Okay.
on things. But the reason we use this is because Zoom doesn't always have the best quality.
Okay.
And it's always best to this it makes it easier to kind of edit some things out and stuff. But what's going on, man? How's everything?
Everything's good, man. I mean, when you get back from like a Tom Ferry event, you're all freaking pumped up. You just drank the Kool-Aid. You have, I mean, so many ideas, dude. When I go to these conferences, I try to go in just telling myself, okay, there's going to be one thing that I need to get from this, just one, because
Yeah.
otherwise, like, and there's hundreds of great things, right? But it's just so overwhelming,
It's
especially with
funny
AI.
because I was in a group of people and I saw you walking by. I'm like, shit! Like I meant to come grab you and see you, but and chat with you. But what did you grab out of that? I mean, they were talking AI. Jason Pantano went on for a lot about AI. Um, everybody's been pushing video for years, but now it seems to kind of transition a little bit into that. What was like, I don't know, like one or two nuggets you pulled out of that?
Yeah, for me, it's 100% not being oblivious to the fact that like AI is the future.
Yep.
Like if you're not diving into it, if you're not utilizing it within your business and your life, you're going to be left behind,
Yeah.
And I to me I kind of knew that before, but it was just after seeing all the things that AI can do and at a higher level than anyone and a faster level, and it's just a no-brainer. Like we need to understand how to utilize these things, and so that for me is the biggest takeaway. For me, I'm going to master 3 different AI um, apps,
Hmm.
and from now to the end of the year, and really just become a master at that, and develop it within my business,
Yeah.
and start there. Like just 3. I know there's thousands, right? But
Well, and
like,
that's the thing. People get a little overwhelmed when they take on too much altogether. Just learn what you can use to kind of streamline your business and take because there's so many different apps out there that'll allow you to. I mean, there's tech. I mean, anywhere from text bots to creating text bots that seem as if they're humans, right? That are going back and forth with you, all the way to 1 or 2 click AI sites that'll build a website, that'll build out an entire structure for you, edits for you. Most of the edit. There's so many little things that it does. It's amazing. I know a lot of people are kind of coming back chatting about that. Are you in coaching right now, or did you just go to go?
no, real quick though, is there a way to put you like on the middle, like just speaker view, or because I have 2 boxes, I have myself and I have a huge screen, so it looks like I'm like looking over here, but I'm looking at you.
Oh, gotcha.
So,
Um,
if there's because I'm
I
not familiar with this one.
I don't believe so. Let me see. I'm trying to see on my end.
There's like a speaker view, I guess.
Yeah, there's the clip. It should be. What the hell is it? Um, General design.
Oh, there we go, I
Wait,
think.
you can see me different?
Yeah, it like expanded the frame. It's still
Oh,
not dead center, but it's a lot better.
interesting. Yeah, let me see if I can hit.
Yeah, it was
Oh, I
like
see.
in the top right corner. It was like
Gotcha.
minimize, maximize frame.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Cool.
And then when it by the way when it gets edited, it'll have there'll be options of up and down or horizontal, either do a vertical or horizontal. Likely just do a vertical side of it.
Right, for
Yeah.
reels and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure because it's weird. My screen, like my camera's like here,
Yeah.
but you're like here. So it's like because I have this giant monitor, so it doesn't. I don't know if it makes my eyes kind of look like I'm like looking down or whatever.
No, I always just try to kind of look right in there just for editing. It's weird to do that, but just kind of like for like editing purposes and whatnot.
Right.
But yeah, we'll figure that out. So are you in coaching right now, or was that something that you just went to?
I wasn't coaching. I was in elite coaching. I did that for a year. Um, it was great, and I love the ecosystem, and it's amazing. And I went to every event, and I love that when you're an elite, you get free tickets to everything.
Hmm.
So I hit everything for like a
Yeah,
year, um, and because for me it was like I'm gonna go anyway, so like that saves me money as well.
totally.
And the coach was cool. Come to find out, later, like after about 8 9 months, I was his first client. Um, and I had only been, he had only been in real estate. He'd been in real estate as long as I had, you know,
Yeah.
and and
So how
so
how do you feel
yeah,
about that?
I didn't. I honestly was kind of upset.
Yeah.
I really was because they pride themselves on, um, teaching people to do things,
Hmm.
but for me, like I can't respect somebody if they haven't done what I'm trying to do, right? It's
I'm,
like
I'm
it's so hard. It's
I'm
very
with you
hard.
100%, and that's where I've done. When I first got into real estate, I had a coach with Tom Ferry. Her name's Eileen Rivera. She's like a Jason Pantana level type of thing. Incredible coach, just a massive producer, right? I'm like, okay, this woman dominates. She knows how to build a team, knows how to handle a farm, knows how to get creative on marketing, knows how to do video before video was actually really out there. She was the one that kind of like pushed me into video like 10 years ago, almost 11 years ago. Um, and I'm like, okay, I love this. Then I started to progress, started to do more business, started to have really good numbers. And I went back into coaching and I was like, and there's no disrespect to my coach at the time and the one that I recently had, but it was like, I've done 10 times more than what you've done. Like, I get it. Maybe
Yeah.
it's more of an accountability type thing, but it makes it difficult to take advice on somebody that has never done it. So that was that. I'm glad you brought that up. That was something I've always wanted to get out there.
Yeah, yeah, and now it's out there, right?
Yeah.
It's vented. It's now you can be free from it. So I that's just for me, man, because
Yeah.
like it's kind of like trying to climb Mount Everest. Um, are my chances of climbing Mount Everest and getting back alive like better doing it with somebody that's been up there and back a few times? Or somebody that's like just bought their freaking, their hiking boots
Yeah.
and, it's just like a month ahead of me,
Right.
just got their tent and they're like, all right, I'm going to show you how to climb Mount Everest. Let's go.
This
Like,
because this is what I read in a book, right? And this is
yeah,
what some coach told me to do. Yeah, no, I'm the
right.
same. I'm the exact same way. I was just thinking about this yesterday, so it's funny that you brought that up. Just mainly because, I ran into a coach when I was there, and I anyway,
Yeah.
it was just kind of like one of those things. But you took a lot out of it, and anytime you go to these things, you always take a ton out of it. The networking's important. Did you connect with a bunch of people outside of the business and or outside of your company?
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I've met a lot of people at these events, which is it's funny because the more you go to, like, each year it seems like I'm running into the same people over and over, and it's just growing and growing and growing. And so it's like every like 10 minutes, I'm like, hey, hey, So it's like it's awesome though, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's like super happy and excited, and you go out and you eat and you hang out and you talk and a lot of the stuff, the value I get, like it's from the events afterwards. Some
Yeah.
of the things that we do, whether it's lunchtime, whether it's after the conference is over, and just being able to mastermind with people on a different level and having conversations with people that you don't really get to see. Like I got to talk to a lot of guys that are kind of like in our area, like Kenny Fast and
Hmm.
Bill
Hmm.
Davies, Chris Rustow. A lot of guys that I've connected with because they're all kind of local out this way. But
Yeah.
just seeing all the wins of Facebook and Instagram and everything else, like I like to figure out what's really going on,
Yeah.
and you don't get to necessarily have those conversations unless you're face to face with them. So, and it's really cool because all these guys like just poured they were not holding back. Like they just told me everything, right? So
like,
it made
what's working, and this is what I'm doing, how things are changing.
yeah, and you know what behind the scenes is going on. You know, a lot of times things aren't going as great as we may all think. You know, and so for me, like, I'm comparing myself, right? Like I'm like, and I just started this team in January. You know, I'm barely, profitable. But I'm putting in all the time, energy, resources to help develop these agents and da 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 da. And so when you're looking at that, it's like, then I'm seeing all these other teams just like looking like they're crushing it. They're doing videos. Right. And, they got this manager and sales manager and freaking, they're being followed around with cameras and, all these things.
Totally.
And I'm like, man, these guys must be making tons of money, right? And then so at first it starts with me asking them, like, how are you doing that? Like, how did you get this level? What's your profitability? What margins do you have?
Yeah.
And I don't want to say too much, right? But like, it's definitely, I'll just say that comparing yourself to others outsides is not the best way to do things, because things are a lot different than people really think. And it actually got me to kind of be a bit more motivated on where I'm at, especially just kind of starting this team and knowing that I'm not doing that bad,
Yeah. And that's a big thing that I learned a few years. So I'm an ultra competitive person. I'm like, it's really, I can't play sports without crushing my son and not giving him a chance. Like I'm always something that I got targets on people's backs, not in the sense of where I want to hurt them, but I want to pass them, want to surpass them. And I learned this years ago where I just kind of sat down. I thought I was having a beer with a buddy of mine, John Ahern, and I'm telling you, man, I'm on a little bit of a rut right now. I'm not pulling business like I was. I'm not doing this, and he's like, Brooks, listen, this real estate market's so up and down. It's cyclical, and this guy's been in the business for, I don't know, 30 years. Then his dad's been a realtor forever. The guy does an insane amount of business in Danville. He's a good friend of mine, and he's like, if you can go in 2 or 3 good hitting streaks on a 12-month basis for real estate, you're going to be in really good shape. You're going to be doing significantly better than what most people do. And I'm like, damn, that's right. Only 2 or 3. Obviously, you strive for more. But I feel, especially in this market, when my business is slow, everybody's is slow. And especially with how you market and you expose yourself, with all the video marketing that you're doing, with just create everything that you do and the success that you have. If you're slow, everybody's slow. Because if you're not getting the business, Darrin, then nobody's getting the business for the most part, and you start to see like these hitters that, especially in my market in the San Ramon Valley, people doing typically 250, 300 transactions a year are doing 100 right now, right? So think about having a massive team, like a few of the people you just mentioned, and then them going from hundreds of transactions a year to cutting it down by 60% for the most part, but still needing to pay the admin, the managers, the leads to come in. There's a lot. I would rather be in my position than somebody with a massive team, for sure.
Right. Yeah, and that's like one of the other things that I got too out of the event is, by the way, real quick.
Yeah.
So if I'm looking like right here,
yep.
How do my eyes look?
You look good. It looks like you're looking at your screen.
Okay, as opposed to this?
That means you're looking right directly at me. Even though it looks odd, like I've been looking directly in here and not actually looking at you talk, just so that we can have, but it still looks good.
Okay, either way.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to just look directly in the camera and just have a conversation as if I'm in that camera, then it'll be just like you and I right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll try that. I'll see if it's weird,
No, it is super weird. That's the thing. I literally have a candle behind me and a light, and I'm just staring at this thing that I don't even know. I don't even know what you're doing right now. but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so like talking about teams
Mm-hmm.
and talking about what we were just talking about, one of the big things Tom Ferry mentioned that really resonated with me was if you're in the in between, you're pretty much screwed. And
Yeah.
that's where I mean, everything you could put that in a dictionary and it would have my name in it, right? Like
Hmm.
the way he described that. And
Well,
so
how
he
did he describe it? I must admit, I missed that one.
just being from lean to in the middle to big team,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
just being in a position where you're the operator, you are the sales manager, you
Hmm.
are the mentor, you're everything,
Hmm.
right? You're creating the systems, you're keeping the agents accountable, you're, I mean, just everything, right? You're
Yeah.
just stuck in the middle,
Yeah.
and you're also trying to do your own production.
Yeah.
So like that's me,
Yeah.
with the agents calling, like, hey, how do I write an offer? How do I do this? What do I do? What do I do that? And so that definitely resonated with me. And then at the same time, it's like, okay, well, I'm in this position, I'm putting all this time, energy, and effort into this, and I'm barely profitable.
Yeah.
Like at least for the team,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Fortunately, I have my separate business, which is my personal. Um, which continues to get better, fortunately.
Yeah.
But I'm putting all this time, energy in the team. So for me, it's more like a long play, right? Like,
Hmm.
okay, I know I have to put the work in, and I knew what I signed up for,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
But then I go and hear just kind of what all these mega team leaders are kind of doing, and it's a vast majority, I
Yeah.
would
Oh,
say.
it is. It is.
It's a vast majority. It's not even just like one, or like these are, I don't like going to just one person and then making my judgment based on one I'll go to like five or six people,
Totally.
so that way it's kind of like the group conscience,
Hmm.
and then hearing that, like they're all kind of in the same position. I'm like, wow. So here I am, just kind of starting out, grinding my ass off for what,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
so I can not be profitable too, you
Right,
know.
right. And unfortunately, this is one of the things, and I always applaud everybody who can handle the team. I've done the teams, I had the brokerage, I had a big, I did all of that, and I started to see my production significantly dwindle away.
Yeah.
Just mainly because you get into this because you want to help mentor. You want to be a
Right.
mentor. You want to
Yeah.
help people come up, just like somebody did for you and somebody did for me. But then it gets to a point where you're like, this is kind of taken. This is kind of
Right.
taken away what we have. It's I choose to keep mine lean as possible.
Yeah.
Especially with content drip. Jill, my wife's handling 98% of the real estate. I'm essentially not stepping away, still producing, still going to be the face, still going to be in production, but the little things that she's going to be handling so I can grow content drip because that's my baby. That's what I love. I
Yeah.
love what we have coming down the stream, and I'm pumped about it. But I don't know if I can go back to a team. I don't know, just mainly because, and you and I work for similar companies where one of the reasons I joined EXP at the time was because I didn't want to grow a team, but I wanted to have a team. Where I'm not necessarily responsible for the mentoring and the coaching and all that, but I'll be there for you. But just understand that there's somebody else that you can talk to as well, but still have the income that comes from a team because of that revenue share. Just like real brokerage is the same way. I wanted because I still like to help the people underneath me whenever they need me. I like to give my open houses out. I love to. I'm always available for listing consultations with them. But I just didn't, I just don't, the margins are so slim, but the time that's put into it even
Yeah.
makes them a little smaller. I'm not trying to beat down your goals or dreams, mind, because you're going to come, Jesus Christ, what the hell did you come from? And now look where you're at. Like, what the hell, like running a team is nothing.
Yeah.
It's just going to take time and it's going to be a grind is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what I hear, man. So for me, like, I'm 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 okay with putting the time and energy into building it if I know that there's like proof that all this time and energy spent will materialize to something,
Yeah.
right? As long as I do my part. Like I'm not expecting it to just happen by me just putting time. Like I have to do things the right way.
Mm-hmm.
But go
I
ahead.
think where you'll see that is the quality of agents that you're bringing on, the
Yeah.
mindset of the agents that you're bringing on. You're going to learn, or if haven't yet, will learn that the who you invest your time into on the team and are they looking to make a couple bucks in real estate, sell a couple homes, go back to nursing, do whatever whatever the case may be, or
Right.
they want to compete with Darrin. Do they want to be on Darrin's side? Because those are the guys that you put everything into, because
Yeah.
that's when it's always the people with their back against the wall are always going to be the ones that are worth it. But then again, you're still going to want to help out the ones that are, I'll do a couple deals a year type of thing. But I think it's gonna come down to a lot of the interview process and really determining who you're going to spend your valuable time with. So there's a lot of teams out here, and a lot of them, the ones I'm probably referring to, that are massive teams, agents that are onesies, twosies. They're not really interested. They don't really take it serious, want to go to the bar, want to go to the after parties, want to do this type of thing. There's energy that goes into those guys that are likely
Yeah.
never going to make an actual business.
Yeah, and it's so funny you're talking about this because this is like literally what I've been just going crazy about,
Yeah.
because it is, man, and I like when I got back yesterday, we have like our Monday check-in on the
Hmm.
team, and I just like told everybody, I just like let everybody have it, like look, like this is where our standards are,
Hmm.
there were a lot of agents that said that we had the virtual Tom Ferry event for them here,
Hmm.
and they had the ability to go see it. And only two agents went, out of nine agents, and
That'll tell
most
you a
people,
lot.
yeah.
Yeah. That
What's
that that
that?
that that tells you a lot, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It does, and so, and I get people, everyone has an excuse on, I got this, I got to pick the kids up, I got to do this, I got to, I got COVID, I got
Hmm.
whatever, right? Like, I'm just like, to me, they're just excuses, If you really wanted something, you're, you're gonna figure out a way to get it, right? Like, if it was really a priority to you, um, like you never have to convince an alcoholic to go, find alcohol.
Right,
Like
right,
they're gonna figure out a way to get it
right,
because that's the priority, right?
right,
Like like just like with anything, if you're hungry, you're gonna figure out a way to eat.
right,
You
right.
know, like it. So to me, you're not gonna be like, oh, you know what? I gotta do this. I gotta do that.
Hmm.
Like if you're real hungry, you're gonna be like, you know what? I need to go grab. I need something. I
You
don't
gotta grab a
care.
bite. Yeah, you gotta
Right.
make it work. I mean, and this is the scenario that we're in right now. This is going to be a difficult market for a lot of people. And unfortunately, over the last couple years, it was pretty easy to sell a home. If you had some sort of marketing and you were branding yourself and you're getting out there and you were consistent with some sort of lead gen, you got, an opportunity to sell a home, the home is going to be sold. This is going to be a little bit different. The inventory is incredibly low, but you still have that interest rate gap where people are concerned about what are we get? Can I even afford this? Rates went up to this, which is going to happen here. It's going to get a little bit more difficult, I think, and the agents that don't have a structure in place, and don't have a calendar booked out where they're like, this is it. I don't eat if I don't sell homes. Those are the ones that are going to grow with you. The other ones won't. And this,
Yeah.
dude, I've gone through so many teammates, dude. So over the years, like I've had so many assistants, so many teammates, that I really started to learn where I'm not good at, what I'm not good at, and I'm a go-getter. And I try to bring people along with me. And if you don't want to run with me, and I'm just gonna, unfortunately, gonna surpass you. I'm gonna outrun you. So it's a difficult time having a team right now. Are you giving leads, or what's the structure out like that? Are you investing in the leads, or how does that go?
Yeah, yeah, we do Zillow, and we
Hmm.
do pretty well with that. We have about a 15 to 20% conversion on the,
Nice.
well, certain agents. The team as a whole is about 15%.
Hmm.
Um, but to, I'll be honest with you, dude. Like
Yeah.
I've never taken an online lead.
Yeah.
Like me personally, I have never. I was like, I will die before. Like shit will really have to get bad for me to like say, okay, you know. But I've never had to do that personally until I decided to get a team.
Yeah.
That's when I was like, okay, well, what's going on with this online lead shit?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had dabbled in it in the past, but dude, I would like spend, you know, a few $100 on Facebook leads and I'd never call them. And I'm just like, what? You know, these people don't even want to talk to me. Like, it's just, I would rather focus on my sphere and people that already know me, like me, trust me, you know, brand myself. Like that's always been my biggest thing. Referral partners, you know, like why focus on one person when you could focus on one person that's going to talk to 10 people, you know?
Yeah.
So that for me was a big mind shift when I decided to create a team.
Mm-hmm.
But it's worked for the agents who take it. Like the ones that are like my fiance, for example.
Mm-hmm.
She's probably the hardest. Well, she's been in the business for a year now,
Mm-hmm.
and she's closed 17 deals
Mm-hmm.
in her first year, and a majority of that's from online leads.
Yeah.
You know, so like
That's somebody you invest in and continue to ramp it up because she's a sure thing, right?
right,
Yeah.
right. So and that's cool. Yeah, and it's like, hey, I could invest in her in business and in life.
Yeah, no, that's it's a hell of a partnership right there, and that's the life goal altogether, right? And I
Right.
think what you're going to find is there is a sexiness to have a team, and then everybody's like, I got to get a team. I want to have a team. I want to. Oh, gotcha. But what if you had one or two solid people that outproduced, right? Like I go back to Joe Frisano, this guy that I look up to, and I've always looked up to here in the San Ramon Valley. He's always kind of kept his team kind of lean, but they're fucking massive producers, right? Alex C is an absolute beast. He's got like two or three. He's maybe got 5 people on his team, 3 that actually are the producers, but they're doing 200 and something plus transactions a year. And it's just like that's the thing. Sometimes it's addition by subtraction, and kind of cutting out that. I hate to say dead weight, but what's cool about EXP or real whatever is that they're still going to stick around. You're not going to really get a better deal in real estate than going to one of those 2 companies. There's some other brokerages out there that are comparable. When you're talking market share and you're talking just like brand altogether, between those 2, I mean, those are they can stay pretty sticky, right? You can actually build your downline out that. Have you moved? Have you started to kind of build out that downline, or how's that going? Because you've been with EXP for what, a year?
Yeah, it's since January. So, you know, majority of my downline is primarily, you know, agents on my team.
Yeah.
You know, so that, you know, I would say that, you know, I have about nine people on my downline.
Mm-hmm.
And then hopefully continuing to grow. I've had a couple of my agents, you know, bring some team members on. So, you know, that's definitely to me like it's more of a cherry on top type thing.
Yeah.
You know, like I didn't
Join for the downline.
join for the downline. Like it's just an added thing, right? Like
Totally.
which is it helps when you're making your decision of where to go.
Yeah.
You know, and then you know stock options. Like I had no idea. Even joining EXP, I didn't even know. Like I'd close my first deal, and then when my agent closes their first deal, like they give you like $500 in stock, and I go and look at my account, you know, and I got like $4,000 of
Right.
just shit that I didn't even know existed. I'm like, whoa, like you know,
It's crazy. And that's the business model I love. When I left Climb, I went to EXP. That was the reason, and obviously I went from EXP to Real for other reasons. But I love checking that out. You essentially get paid to work at these companies. You know what I mean? If you think about it, especially with your production, at the end of the year, you're going to see that you actually they essentially paid you to work at the company. You know what I mean? With downline income, with revenue share. Like even at Real, we've got a new title, revenue share. So we've got a few other ways of producing income, but they have a big title company, and you buy into the company, and they start paying you dividends as the company grows. So it's like Jesus. Like I have multiple streams of income just by joining, by
Right.
joining a real estate company. But Yeah, I mean it's cool because kind of going back to having the team and being associated with an EXP is they stay sticky and not like in a sense of like they're not they're always going to be around, but it can always be back and say, you know what, Johnny Smith, you don't want to be on the team anymore. You can part from it. Do you have different splits like 75-25, or how does that work?
Yeah, so we're at like a standard
Yeah.
team split, which is
Yeah.
75-25 with an $8,000 cap.
Hmm.
Um, and then with EXP, like once you get up to 10 agents, in a certain amount of volume, you can minimize that cap to 4 for your agents.
Yeah.
So then the cap will go down to 4,000, which I think is a lot better selling point.
Totally.
But the thing is the team leader has to take on $52,000 potentially. Like, let's say you go under that structure of a mega team,
Yeah.
and you have only 7 agents that actually hit that cap for the year. Well, the team leader's on the line for $12,000. Those 3 people that didn't get it,
Yeah.
plus their 16,000.
Yeah.
So you're essentially taking on a lot of this risk if you don't have players that are showing up. So, a lot of people don't understand. Like, I hear so many people say, "Oh, I want to build a team. I want to build a team." Like, good luck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I welcome it. You know what I mean? Because it takes a lot of time, energy. There's a lot of risk involved. There's a lot of money involved, investment. I mean, dude, I'm pouring out so much into the
Yeah.
resources of our team. It's just insane. Like, I've never poured this much into anything, let
Yeah.
alone my own personal business.
Because you didn't need to, because you have a great sphere and you had great income coming in off it, and you were able to leverage all of that, right?
Right.
And that's a big thing for me when it comes to online leads. Like, I grew my business door knocking and following up and video. Those 3 things grew my business, and I've done the leads, I've bought leads, I've done Zillow, literally every single lead gen out there, and I'm like, why? Why am I doing this if I know I'm going to get X amount that comes in? Like, it's just the reward isn't always there. Why can't I just hit my clients with updated videos on a weekly basis through their inbox? Send them quick text messages. Hey, check out this video I just did. Blah, blah, blah. What are your thoughts on that? So those are the leads. The leads are tough because they're so expensive. But then you have to sign contracts, right? Did you sign a contract? I haven't bought leads forever, but did you have to sign a contract with Zillow
Yeah,
for a period of time?
you can go for month to month. So I've also aligned with other companies where we just pay a referral fee, which
Yeah.
is essentially, I think, the best way to go.
Totally.
You hear a lot of these big teams that are profiting, and they preach on Zillow, and the only reason a lot of them are like that is because they're on Flex,
Right.
right?
Right.
And they're not giving those out like they used to,
Yeah.
Zillow. So
Yeah.
a lot of these big teams you see that are successful, we're just starting at the right time. 2019, 2020, where they were able to get onto Flex.
Yeah.
And so now they have their whole business model, or wrapped around Flex. To where Zillow's got them by the balls, right? So and Zillow is actually canceling a lot of their
The
they're
flash.
canceling a lot of, well, not Flex, they're canceling people who are able to purchase zip codes like myself,
Hmm.
because what they're going to do is they're going to start giving it just to Flex teams,
Hmm.
because Zillow is now a lender title company, and what they're going to do is that all these Flex teams that have their whole businesses dependent on these incoming leads for their teams, they're going to say, we will continue to give you leads and let you be on Flex, but you have to use our title company and our lending company, right? And there's going to be certain ratios, right? They can't expect for them to use it every single client, but just like Flex, you have to hit certain numbers, right? In order to continue to keep but staying on that platform. So it's going to be the same thing, and good for them. Like, they're smart, right?
Mhm.
But see, that's where for me, I'm just like, there's no way around like going old school. Like
No.
like for me, I'm starting to preach a lot more to the agents. Like, like you just have to find your niche. And
Mm-hmm.
one of the things I really liked was the case studies at Tom Ferry.
Mm-hmm.
I love looking at those,
Yeah.
because it just shows all the different possibilities of different niches.
Yeah.
Referral partners like attorneys. You had that one agent who crushes it with attorneys, and you have the one agent that crushes it with events,
Yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
and it's like just finding your niche like that's what you need to do. And I think the agents get so dependent on just answering the phone. Hi, how may I help you? You want to go see 123 Main Street? Great. When would you like to see it? Perfect. You want to go see any other houses? Great. I'll call the seller and set that appointment up, and I'll get right back to you. Right?
Might as well work at Redfin.
Yeah,
It might as well just be at Redfin. It always
exactly.
it kind of, and this is kind of bringing the conversation full circle, going back to the AI. AI is cute. AI is great. There's benefits for AI without a doubt, but at the end of the day, it boils down to contacts and follow up. How many contacts you're making, what your follow up is, whether it's attorneys that you're reaching out to. You have a database of attorneys that you follow and you drip on. Whether it's people that came through an event that you've captured data, emails, contact info from, door knocking, cold calling, whatever. It always goes back to old school. It's the basics, just like Tom's been saying for the past year and some change, because this market has slowed down significantly. The AI is cute. The leads are there's always going to be a new lead generation company that's better than the last one. I mean, I started in Zerpel was there in Boomtown and all these other places that were the next best. Remember Zip Realty? I don't know if you remember Zip Realty, but it was like all these companies that it's like the next one's going to be better next year. So it's back to the basics.
Right.
It's tightening up the belt, and it's putting your energy and your time. I mean, even with your fiance, right? I mean, you guys don't want to be behind a desk all day, every day, right? There's times you two want to go out and do things. You want to, as you
Yeah.
grow in your relationship, it doesn't need to be strictly real estate all day, every day. And I think what you'll see and what a lot of people are seeing right now, especially with teams, is that you need to put your energy into the people that are going to give you their energy. And I mean, it seems like your fiance is a beast,
Yeah.
and she's
Yeah,
doing
no,
that
she
in the
is.
first year.
She is, and she helps a lot with the agents too, like the ones
But
that call and need help. Like if I don't answer, like their next call is Nicole,
yeah,
and she
yeah,
definitely helps a lot with that. And I'm very fortunate to have her not only, in my life, but as a business partner, which I would have never expected. Like she was an esthetician when I met her, and I had just gotten into real estate,
yep.
and um, and then who would have thought that she would
Watch.
not only get into real estate, but on top of that, just be a beast at
Yeah.
it. Like, you know what I mean? So,
Hmm.
very consistent with follow up. I mean, just very detailed. And she's a lot of the things that I'm not, which is
Yeah.
that's what I love.
Well,
Like,
that's important.
you know what I mean? So she's a
Hmm.
lot of the things I'm not. Like I have the vision. I'm able to figure out solutions to majority of problems. Figuring out where we're going, how we're gonna get there.
Yeah.
Like all those things. Like I'm really like good at.
Hmm.
And with people and getting connected with people and connections and being in the right rooms and like all those things. But that's nothing if you're not consistent, if you're
Right.
not, following a process, if you don't have systems in place. Like none of that means anything. So it's like I think you need both, And
For
so,
sure.
fortunately, I think she's definitely more like, I mean, she's just like a robot sometimes. I don't know how she does a lot of the things she does. I'm just like, you know,
Yeah, you're a lucky man.
yeah,
It's tough to find that. It's tough. Well, I love it. I think we have to do these more often. We need to hop on these a lot. I think a lot more than every 6 months, because it's been a little while since you and I have chatted. Let's
yeah.
let's put something
It's
on
been
the
about a
books.
year. Yeah, yeah, it's been about a year, I think, since I
Yep.
came. I actually came to your guys'
Yep.
office last time. Yeah, we
Yeah.
did it. Which was cool. That was fun.
That was a good
Yeah,
time. That was good, man. Let's stay connected. Let's I want to put something on the books. Would like to try to do these every few months, just mainly because there's so much that changes, and just kind of chop it up and get some stuff out if you're down.
Yeah, I'm totally down, man. I love, and I'm watching you grow too at the same time, man. So it's cool to see. You
Thank you,
know,
brother.
we're all growing together. You know, so it's all about who you surround yourself with.
It is, man, and I appreciate you, man. Thanks for taking some time to talk today.
Yeah, thank you, man. I
All right,
appreciate it.
brother. Yep.